Hey, Zudorog here, coming to another video review, and today, as you can see, I'll be taking a look at the Scout Class Backfire with Spike Witwicky from the Dark of the Moon movie toy line. So to start things off, size to a soda can. Right, so we'll start things off with Spike by himself, and you can see he is very, very tiny. Here's his size compared to a soda can. He is extremely small. He's actually even smaller than most Legends class figures. Here's an example of Legends Prime. You can see he barely comes up to Prime's torso. But even at that size, he's fairly well detailed with, Spike, okay, come on. There is a lot of detail, paint and sculpting and everything. There's mud on his boots, and lots of detail sculpting on his vest and his arms, even on the helmet. If it will focus. So you can see there's a lot of detail there on his helmet, on his vest. Even the back's got a pretty good amount of detail. And of course, he's also very posable for his size. His head's on a swivel. It will go all the way around, but it's rather tight, and I wouldn't recommend doing it too often. His arms have sort of a Revoltech joint almost. They can go out to the side like that, all the way around. No elbow articulation. Hands are on a swivel, so they can go all the way around. Legs can go out that far. They can't go back at all. They have a swivel at the hip. They technically can't go out to the side, but if you orient everything properly, you can get them going out. His knees can bend that far at one joint, and there's even a swivel at that joint. No foot articulation, though. And now here we have Backfire himself. He is a trike of some sort, molded mostly in gray plastic with a bit of gray, or a bit of black, a bit of a sort of copperish color plastic, and then some silver and black paint apps, along with a little bit of translucent orange. Everything looks fine from above. Below, you can actually just, see his head right there. It rolls very well. These big wheels allow it to roll very smoothly. He's a little out of scale with most movie figures, but he is actually almost perfectly in scale with alternator figures. Although Spike's a little small for that. And again, he's also just overly huge. As for accessories, he of course has his two rifles, which I think are molded on M16s, but I could be wrong on that. It kind of looks like they load bullpup, but I'm not sure. They have these 3mm clips on the back, and then these little clasps that go on there. And it just sits there like that. And then these clips are actually on ball joints. They can go in and out, swivel, do all that good stuff. And they both just sit there like that. And of course, you can get Spike sitting on there. He has little footrests right there and the handlebars. However, getting him to actually sit on there is really, really finicky. So I'll be back in a minute and show you what he looks like with it on. You basically want to get him into a position sort of equating to that, and then just sort of finagle everything so that he sits somewhat properly. And just sit him down. And that's about as good as you're going to get. Backfire is just too big. He probably should have been, probably even a Legends class figure. He's just too big. Or maybe Spike should have been bigger. Come on, get off. Let's just pull these off. And then we'll go ahead and get to the transformation. Now here's where things actually get interesting. Backfire is actually a triple changer. He has his vehicle mode, which you can see there, along with his robot mode, and a third sort of BFG mode. So we'll go from vehicle mode to cannon mode and then into robot mode. So to start the transformation into cannon mode, you want to take the back wheel and split it. Just sort of lay it flat like that. And then just pull up on the seat so that the front section here untabs from there. It's just got these little hook tabs that go in there. They don't hold securely, but they do the job, as well as these tabs that rest under there. Just bring all this back on this double hinge. Take these wheels, bring them out and over. I've seen different ways to orient these. I sort of like them like this. It just looks neat to me. Then take the front of the bike, fold it up, and these clips that went up here will now go into this little spot there. Make sure the wheels are out of the way. And then just take the headlight section and fold it up. And I'm not really sure what that's supposed to be. I mean, there's some detailing in there that makes me think it's supposed to be a sight, but then the gun sits like that, so I'm not actually sure. Anyway, whatever. Then you want to take the engine section down here, pull it out. It's on a double hinge, so just get it up like that. Push the head down, and that'll sink everything into place. And then just to make things look different, take this section with the post, swing it around, and there you basically have his cannon mode. Now, I sometimes like to take the front wheels there and bring them out like that. And there you basically have his cannon mode. I'll be using Ironhide to show how that looks. Wow, he is dusty. Let's bring this up a little bit more. Ugh, so dusty. Anyway, as you can see, Ironhide has these ports in his hands, and there's just this big post right there. Just squeeze that into there. Now, unfortunately, due to the way Ironhide's arms are, he can't really hold Backfire straight, but that sort of just gives you a rough idea of what it looks like with a larger figure holding his cannon mode. There's a little bit of detail in there. Barrel right there, just some weird glowing orange bits going on there. Let's just pop this out of his hand. You, go away. Now, he also has a robot mode, so let's get into that. Just take this little sight piece, fold that up, then come back here to the engine block, bring it back up, push his head back out, lock that into place, bring the wheels back down, split this front section, and bring these black panels up on this double hinge, like that. Just get these sort of sat straight. Now if you look, he actually has hands molded in there, but he has like the tiniest weird little dwarf arms. Anyway, just take his seat and split it. There's a double hinge that the foot pedals are on, or footrests, so just bring that out, get that up into there like that. Ugh. One good thing is that even after 6 years, the joints on here are still very, very tight. And then just sort of get everything so that he'll stand. Basically like that. And there you have Backfire in robot mode. His colors in robot mode are much the same as vehicle mode and cannon mode. Mostly a medium gray with quite a bit of black, that weird coppery brown color, some silver, and silver and black paint apps, and also some translucent orange. As for posability, it's actually not too bad for something, so small. Although it's actually even more limited than what this guy can do, even though he's about 3 times the size. Figure that out. His head is on a swivel and can go all the way around. His arms can go out to the side that far. They can go all the way around as long as nothing gets in the way. His wrists, elbows, whatever, this section can move up and down and in and out a bit. You can also take this thing and move it up and down. Doesn't have any waist articulation. Legs can go forward that far, back, that far. There is a swivel just above the knee. The knee can bend just about 90 degrees, but there's all kinds of stuff getting in the way, like these things, and he doesn't really have any feet. Now, as far as accessories go for robot mode, you can't really do much with Spike now. I mean, he can sort of stand there and look neat, but he can't really sit or stand anywhere on Backfire, so he's kind of useless. You do still have Backfire's 2 guns, and these actually attach to the bars on the front of his hands. Just clip them on, twist the guns into place, and there you go. You have him ready to shoot some Decepticons into face. And clip this one on. There you go. Again, it doesn't really look like he's actually holding them because they're attached in front of his hands instead of to his hands, because, he doesn't really have hands, but it's not the worst looking Dark of the Moon toy. Thankfully, I don't have the one that looks the absolute worst, but there you have Scout Class Dark of the Moon Backfire with Spike. Is it Spike Witwicky? I don't know. He's just called Spike. So, I suppose that's it. As usual, I'm selling this and many of my other figures on eBay, so check out the link if you want to look at those. I have a Patreon as well, so if you guys like these reviews and want to see more, I'd really appreciate $1 or $2. Just throw it my way so I can, keep doing these. But that said, don't really have much else to add, so until next time, bye-bye.